Public parks are an important aspect on economic development in the United States. When carefully planned, it can lead to an increase in economic growth, investment, and social cohesion. A quality public space will lead to an increase in value of its surrounding properties. It also promotes local tourism by providing spaces of high aesthetic, leisure, sporting, and cultural value. In this video, we will be looking at the waterfront of Burlington as an example of public space in our community.
Today when we see the waterfront of Burlington, we see a beautiful New England college town with a booming economy and a unique character. But the waterfront hasn't always been the serenity that we see today. Pre-1990s, the waterfront was essentially a dumping ground and an industrial junkyard. This didn't change much until the people of Burlington voted to pass the Burlington Waterfront Revitalization Plan on November 6, 1990. The plan made promises to rid the waterfront of all dangerous and unappealing waste and create an inviting and attractive public space. Since 1990, the waterfront has undergone rapid growth in order to appeal and attract both the tourists and the residents of Burlington.
The Burlington Waterfront, being a public park open from sunup to sundown, allows for all people to go there for free with access to art, a bike path, dog park, and Lake Champlain. As a public space, looking at the Burlington waterfront leads to the question of, can public spaces like the waterfront ameliorate inequality? We believe that public spaces do help ameliorate inequality. Public parks like the Burlington waterfront allow for all people to come and enjoy the beautiful views and all that is offered no matter their social, financial, or racial status. Public spaces foster a greater sense of community and boost the values of property. However, this is only true in affluent areas, as there is a large disparity in the amount of funding for public spaces across the United States. For example, The Atlantic wrote a story on the parks and public spaces in Minneapolis, stating how an affluent community outside of the city received $150,000 per year, while 3 different parks received only $25,000 per year in some of the city's poorest communities. So while in cities like Burlington, public spaces are helping combat inequality, due to an inequality in funding in larger, less wealthy cities, it is causing even more inequality.
Yes, public spaces open up opportunities for all members of the community to socialize, sightsee, exercise, and thrive. However, it would be ignorant not to acknowledge that there are many socioeconomically neglected regions lacking public green spaces, especially in urban areas. Several studies show that the closer a residential area is to a public space, the more likely the occupants are to be physically and mentally healthy and financially stable. The situation generally reverses for those further away from attractive public spaces. Look at this figure from the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. In the southern European city of Porto, it is evident that the areas possessing larger green spaces are surrounded by less deprived neighborhoods, while the areas that are scarce in green spaces are surrounded by more deprived neighborhoods. The introduction of higher quality public spaces in urban areas may not solve the issue of economic inequality in its entirety, but it could be a step towards mitigating issues that come with areas of low socioeconomic status. On the bright side, there are several positive initiatives being taken: the Ubuntu Green in Sacramento, the Oakland Climate Action Coalition, and the Million Trees initiatives, which involve several large cities such as New York City, Denver, and Los Angeles.
We've seen drastic changes to the waterfront in the past 20 years, but what can we expect in the future? Burlington is building a $200 million project, adding 2 14-story towers right here on the waterfront. The buildings will offer 300 units of housing in the form of apartment and condos, and although not confirmed, these buildings will likely feature a mall complex as well. In theory, it should help ameliorate inequality by adding cheaper and affordable options for consumers, but also could hurt small and local businesses for nearby shops and restaurants. Will this truly help ameliorate inequality? It definitely could, and we will see for sure for ourselves over the next few years.